Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. A couple of days ago, I did a video about what I thought the long-term value of a set box versus a draft box was going to be. And I got an interesting question in the comments, and that was, well, what about a collector box versus a draft box? And the very first thing that popped through my brain when I read the question was, well, isn't it obvious? But then I thought, if someone's asking me, it's either not obvious or maybe I'm wrong about what I think is obvious. And it really got me thinking a lot. And you know, these collector boxes, they have not many packs per box, about a normal number of cards per pack, but it's the distribution of what's in there that's really incredible about them. And so there'll be a lot of foil cards, a lot of full art cards, a lot of special treatments. These Strixhaven ones specifically have 2 slots in every pack that are foil mystical archives and can be the Japanese alternate art foil mystical archives. And so what you're getting in here is so much more concentrated towards the cards that have high value now and will more likely appreciate better in the future. Things like mythics and rares and full arts and foils. Where in here, remember, you've got something like 300 common cards in this box. And most of the time, again, those commons will still be worth nothing in a decade. It's very rare that you'll have the next Rhystic Study or Lotus Petal or, other 10 to 20 to $30 common card. Those are very, very rare. They come along very rarely. And so most of the cards in this box will not be worth anything in a decade. And you have a high number of uncommons. It's about 3 per pack. And again, those will appreciate a little bit, but not very much. And so again, I still think the collectors boxes will appreciate the best. Now, the interesting thing is, we do have a little bit of data about this. In the competition between set boxes and draft boxes, Zendikar Rising was the first expansion that had set booster boxes, and it's still technically in print, though I don't think it's going to see the printers again, but it hasn't been officially declared out of print. When it comes to the collector boxes, there's actually a number of sets whose sets are out of print and they had collector boxes attached to them. So Throne of Eldraine was the first one, Theros Beyond Death, Ikoria, Core 21, and Commander Legends. At least those 5 all had collector boxes, and the main set is officially out of print. Now remember, the collector boxes, they print one wave of them. They will play games with WotC holding them back in their warehouses, distributors holding them back, game stores, and then people like me holding them back. But there is only one printing of them. And so we do have a tiny bit of data of what happens when the underlying expansion goes out of print. How do draft boxes and collector boxes move relative to each other? And I tried looking at the data on that this morning. It appears that the collector boxes for those sets I mentioned are moving just a little bit faster than the draft boxes so far. But again, even Throne of Eldraine has only been out of print for, I can't remember, like 6 or 8 months, something like that. So we're still very early, and it's hard to tell. The collector boxes have only appreciated a tiny bit faster than the draft boxes. And there's another complication in that analysis, and it's that the early collector boxes had different print runs. They had different box toppers and insert cards, and WotC has not really come to a good, stable conclusion yet of how to populate what's inside of a collector's box. It keeps changing a lot. Obviously, the Zendikar Rising ones have been very popular because they had the Expedition box toppers. These Strixhaven ones are very popular because, again, guaranteed 2 foil mystical archives, which can give you some of the most high dollar pools out of the entire expansion. And, stuff like Kaldheim is just kind of, well, there's not a lot of great chase cards, and there's no box topper. And so there's a very lukewarm reception to the point that you can still get those collector boxes today for $160. And kind of a similar story with Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. They've moved back up to the 180s, but again, there's not a lot in there that's really special. And so that really throws a wrench in the analysis of long term on the average, how will collector boxes compete against the draft boxes? I do think they will do better, but it will vary set to set. And again, the print runs have been vastly different, and um, the initial market reaction causing things like stores to dump them all at low prices, and so maybe more of them get opened and fewer will be preserved into the future. Those kind of things are still pretty unpredictable. But again, on the whole, I think that collector boxes will edge out set boxes, which will edge out draft boxes. So that's my prediction. I could be wrong, and we'll see in the future. If you like this kind of thing, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Join me on Final Trade. Thanks a lot.